I've got a lovely little kitty cat, diddly dee. There he is, just sitting in the background. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Adorkable Rachel, and it's time once again for another episode of Rachel Reviews, so let's just hop into it. Early Man! So I really wanted to check out this movie because it was produced by Aardman Studios, which, if you don't already know, is the company that made Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, Shaun the Sheep, a lot of other films, and I've been a big fan of the British animation company for a really, really long time, and I've loved pretty much everything they've ever put out, so yeah, when I found out they were doing another film, I got excited. Early Man tells the story of a caveman, or cave boy, named Doug, played by Redmayne, who lives a simple life with his tribe, catching rabbits, and not a whole lot else. By the way, do these rabbits look familiar to you? Yeah, I would not be the least bit surprised if these were the exact same models that they used for the Wallace and Gromit movie. So one day, a bunch of men from the already existing Bronze Age come in and claim their valley, wanting to turn it into a mine, headed by leader Lord Newth, played by Tom Hiddleston. So Doug comes to the Bronze City, discovers that they play a game called football, or soccer as we Americans call it, and after only seeing the game once, Doug challenges the Bronze City to play a game in exchange for their land if they win. Oh! So it's this story that we've seen in a lot of movies already. Okay. So what do you think? Will Doug find it hard to teach his fellow tribesmen, get some help from a football enthusiast played by Maisie Williams, become really good through a montage, and surprise everyone by playing better than expected? Do movies still have a tendency to use tired, predictable plots like this one? Yeah. So this is really not what I expected the movie to be, and oh gosh, that is so not a good thing. I don't think I saw any trailers for this film, or if I did, it's certainly been a while, but I kind of expected this movie to be more in the vein of like the Flintstones maybe, where animals are being used as tools or there's some funny sight gags. I mean, that stuff can be funny if it's done well. And actually the movie did kind of start off that way, so it seemed really promising, but then it just kind of stopped. And if nothing else, I was expecting there to be some kind of fun clash between the Bronze Age and the Stone Age, but that's how they were advertising it. And maybe turning it into a sports movie isn't a horrible idea either, because this was the time period that sports and tournaments were becoming really big, so there is a lot of things you could have done with that. But really? Turning it into a soccer movie? It couldn't be about tournaments that were really popular back then? Well, okay, I mean, a soccer movie could work, I mean, as long as there's a lot of funny jokes and it actually pertains to the sport. Or maybe that wouldn't matter as long as the characters were really interesting and fun. Yeah, we really don't have a lot of that. And don't get me wrong, there are some funny gags and jokes in this movie, but I just felt like rather than driving humor from the characters or the story, a lot of the jokes just kind of drives from really cheap humor. Like, you know, we've got a lot of fart jokes in there. Yay. But it also suffers, I think, because there's quite a few parts in the film where a character will say something and then you're just wondering to yourself, was that a joke? So the story does have its moments, but it was just not the laugh out loud kind of movie that I was hoping for. But Aardman, at least kudos for not making references to like modern day slang. I'm really glad that you at least kept that much dignity. And it doesn't need to be laugh out loud funny if it was really fun to watch, but it was kind of dull. I'm sorry. And the biggest disappointment when watching this movie is that, unfortunately, there are just no big surprises in this film. It's like, man, seriously? The one thing I feel like I've always been able to depend on when it comes to Aardman Studios films is that before we hit the third act, we get an awesome and unexpected twist. Like Curse of the Were-Rabbit had a fun mystery to it, and Shaun the Sheep kept taking all these twists and turns in the story, and even Chicken Run had a big heartbreaking reveal in it. This movie? Nope. And they try to have a little bit of a twist, but it's insanely weak. Not only have we seen this story in so many other films, but other Aardman movies that have come before it were just so much better and more fun and way more clever. And I hate that. I really hate having to make comparisons to other films that have come before it, but oh, they made it too easy. In fact, why tell this story? You were trying to make a movie about early man, but then you incorporate soccer into it. Well, if you wanted to make a soccer movie, just make a soccer movie, or just do something a little more clever with the whole, caveman elements. Also, as much as they try, there really is no big sense of urgency in this film either. Oh, you guys won't get your land back if you lose? Oh well, you guys seem pretty okay with the Badlands, and you never really put emphasis on the value of the valley anyway, so why should I be worried for you? And I feel really bad saying this, but was this really the best you could do, Aardman? This movie, while I understand that it was trying to do something new, I was just really disappointed with how underwhelming and how conventional it was. It's really calculated, the animation is pretty good, but nothing spectacular. The jokes fall flat a lot, and of course, nothing out of the ordinary or unpredictable ever seems to happen. Once in a while there's a funny joke or gag that happens, but pretty much from the beginning, you can foresee what's gonna happen. Now, to the credit of the film, there's really nothing insulting about this movie. It is still in its way an Aardman Studios film. The humor is really innocent, the story's simple, and probably the best part of the whole movie is that the voice acting is really good. Unless you were told who was playing what roles, it's hard to tell that you're listening to Eddie Redmayne or Tom Hiddleston in this film. And everyone else in the movie does put out really fun performances. Early Man is not horrible, but it's just not really that amazing either. It's just okay. Like, your kids will probably like it enough. Actually, when I went and saw this film, most of the audience members were parents with kids and then also a lot of older couples, so yeah, that probably is the best audience for this film. Do I hate this movie? No, but it just wasn't the experience I was hoping for. But if you do like Aardman Studio films, then it might be worth checking out at least once for the animation if nothing else. I just don't really see a lot of mainstream audiences really grasping onto this film, unfortunately. So those are my thoughts on the new Aardman Animations film, Early Man. So now I want to know, did you guys get a chance to check it out? And if so, what did you think? Did you find it boring and predictable? Did you find something really redeeming about it? Also let me know, what's your favorite Aardman animation film? For me, it's actually kind of hard to choose. I like Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I also like the Shaun the Sheep movie. They're both really good. Well, go ahead and leave your comments below. Be sure to like and share. And if you're new and like what you saw here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to hit the little bell button down there to get notified when new stuff comes out, because I make new videos every week. Bye, Adorkable buddies. I'll see you soon.